NBC27 Digital Now Center. This is Beyond the Forecast with your most accurate local meteorologists.
Well, here we go, everybody. Who's ready to talk about a winter storm? I know we've been talking about it for the better part of a week, and here we are at Thursday, getting ready to go into the weekend, and we want to give you our latest thoughts on this. Now, I'm just going to tell you right up front, we do not have a snow map yet. We are going to work on that today. Remember, this storm is still mostly on Sunday. That is going to start Saturday night, but we are still several days away. I know everybody wants to know the numbers, but here's what you do need to know. It is going to be an impactful storm. We know that you probably shouldn't go out on Sunday if you don't have to, and this could be the biggest storm we've seen in quite some time here. Certainly, again, a foot of snow is rare around here, and I do think that that is on the table. You know I don't say that often. I mean, we are, and we always try to be with snow events, very conservative when it comes to calling for snow numbers, because oftentimes around here it is very tough to get big snows, especially the last 10 years or so. And in fact, 10 years gives us the blizzard of 2016. Now, this is not going to be that, but it is certainly on the table that we could get over a foot of snow region-wide. Now, it's also on the table that we may not see that much due to sleet mixing in and a few other factors that have to be determined yet. So totals will come out later, but what we do know is that this is going to be a pretty impactful event, and we are going to give you the very latest right now as we move into what I think is actually going to be a very nice day and a very mild Thursday. Check out the beautiful shot we have here of Camp Hill from Cedar Cliff High School. Look at that sunrise. Gorgeous out. A few fair weather clouds. We do have a front coming through the state that's going to help to push this mild air in. We've got a snowpack on the ground that just makes it look like a postcard wintry scene out there. And there's the snow and some snow squalls coming across the mountains. Most of our region should stay dry. Like yesterday, there may be a snow shower or a sprinkle or some freezing drizzle on the hilltops where it is a little bit colder. But most of us are going to stay dry and see a very nice day, just like we showed you there in Camp Hill. Look at some of the temperatures. Other than Lebanon and Allentown, we're mild. 36 in Baltimore, 36 in Lancaster and Harrisburg, and Chambersburg and York, 37 in Philly. And then you've got pockets where it is below freezing and a little bit cooler. A bit of a breeze out there in spots. The wind's picking up in State College at 21 miles an hour. And look at the winds over the hills. It is going to be blustery later today, but it will be mild. This map really impressed me. Earlier this morning, Lancaster had a 40-degree jump. Remember yesterday? Clear skies, calm winds. Lancaster has a bit of a snowpack from last weekend. They were sitting at minus 4 degrees, and today they were near 40 when I came in. They had a 40-degree swing in 24 hours. That is not something we see often, so a very, very cool map here to see. We're 30 to 40 degrees warmer than we were yesterday. The airport looks nice, too, with a gorgeous sunrise, and we expect highs today to be in the low to mid-40s. It's going to be a beautiful day to be outside. Make your plans today. You've got salt. Go buy it. You need to get an extra shovel. You want to get supplies for the weekend to kind of hunker down. Today would be a good day to do so. 40 degrees yesterday, but that happened right before midnight. So what a swing we had yesterday. 7 in the morning, 40 before midnight. Pretty good stuff. 9 below is the record today, by the way, back in 1984. So breezy conditions today and mild, too, ahead of this front. We're going to be a little cooler tomorrow, but there is high pressure looming here, right up here behind our banner, and that is what is going to come down for the weekend and give us an Arctic blast. So if you have plans this evening, and a lot of us do, it's going to be just fine. Breezy. Temperatures in the 30s with partly cloudy skies. It's going to be just fine, but we are going to start to see some cooler air move in by Friday. So a mix of clouds and sunshine today, mild and breezy. Tomorrow looks just fine. It'll be cooler with temperatures in the 30s, and then the bottom drops out. It turns very breezy tomorrow afternoon. That's going to push in this Arctic air for Saturday. We start Saturday sunny, and then the clouds roll in, and here comes the snow. I think anytime after 10 p.m. on Saturday, the snow will start in our southwest, and it's going to move to the northeast, and eventually it'll be snowing everywhere Sunday morning, really overnight Saturday. So, again, winds today at 15 to 20 miles an hour. They back off a bit tonight. I think tomorrow's going to be a breezy day. This is the leading edge of that Arctic air, so that's going to push in here tomorrow night and really change things up. And then the winds kind of go calm Saturday, which is not a bad thing. But temperatures are not going to warm up much. We're going to be in the teens, it looks like, on Saturday. So we go from 43, 44, 45 today, which is going to feel very nice, especially after the last couple of days, down into the 20s, so a cold start tomorrow. We're only going to get near freezing tomorrow, it looks like, and then watch this push of colder air. Now, I'm going to be very interested to see how cold we get Saturday morning. Precision Cast and other models tend to overdo the cold, and the cold air tends to be slower to move in. But this rushes single-digit air in by Saturday morning. And no matter what, as long as we are well below freezing, that is going to set the stage for some really good snow accumulation here going into the second half of the weekend, which would be Sunday. So let's talk about this extended outlook. Here's the deal. Excuse me. As this cold air, this bowling ball moves to the south, this is what is going to set the stage here, excuse me, for the first half of Saturday. Okay, that cold air. The storm is getting situated right here. Okay, and now we're looking at the upper levels. So this storm is going to kind of move here and then kind of do this and move up the coast. All right, so what happens is as we get into Sunday now, the cold air lifts a little bit. Warm advection moves in from the south, and that means that we get that dreaded sleet mix to potentially move in. Now, that being said, here's the deal, though, with the sleet mix. You always want to be right where this gradient is, right between the cold and the warm air, because right where that gradient is, that's sometimes, and when I say you want to be there, that's if you're looking for a good snow. Okay, some of you may not want it, so some of you may not want to be there. But I'm talking ingredients for a good snowstorm. If we're right on the northern side of that gradient, we're going to get thumped pretty good. And given the high ratios with the snow and how cold it will be, the snow could absolutely be pumping on Sunday morning. But as that warm air lifts to the north, okay, then some of our southern and eastern counties may get the sleet to mix in, and then there goes, some of the more extreme snow totals. So this is kind of what we have to diagnose today. We're confident we're going to get a good amount of snow on the front side of this. We're confident this is going to be a very big storm and a very impactful storm for the region. But, again, are we talking 8 inches of snow, or are we talking over a foot of snow? And I think that's the difference here with this sleet line, and that's what we really want to try to diagnose today. Beyond that, look at how deep this cold air comes next week. I mean, we're talking all the way to Georgia and Florida here. If we have a good snowpack of 8 inches or more, it's probably going to be colder than modeled. And guess what? Look at this. Another bowling ball comes down next weekend. I mean, this cold air just keeps on feeding. So whatever snow we get this weekend is going to stick around. So again, here's Saturday afternoon. Let's break it down hour by hour. Saturday afternoon, we are looking good. Your plans will be good through Saturday evening. But after 10 o'clock, here's the snow. Now, here's 9:30 Sunday morning, and this is when we are just in the prime spot for snow. It's going to be really cold. The snow is going to accumulate quickly. We could be talking about 2 inches per hour. So this is where, by the time Sunday morning rolls around, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, we might already have 6, 7 inches of snow on the ground before we even have to worry about that sleet line. But watch what happens in the afternoon. All of a sudden, that sleet line, here it is, starts to creep in here to the southeastern counties. Now, again, here's our concern today and what we need to diagnose. How quickly does this sleet move in? It oftentimes moves in quicker than modeled. I don't know that it's going to matter much with this storm. As I just said, I think we're in prime snowmaking Saturday night and the first half of Sunday. Even if the sleet line moves in as early as noon on Sunday, we still may already have 8 inches of snow or more. Okay, and the sleet line is going to affect the southern tier counties first and then eventually move to the north. But the question is, this keeps creeping north with each model run. You can't hold it back. So how far north and how much will that impact snow totals? We will see. Is there a difference? Do you care if you're shoveling 8 inches or 16 inches of snow? Sure, I guess you care. But at the end of the day, it's going to be the same impact. No travel on Sunday. It's going to put down a good amount of snow. But we will do our best to let you know whether we think we get 8, 10, 12 inches, maybe more. But this sleet line is a bugaboo that we have to worry about here today. The storm will pull away by Monday morning. Monday's fine, but it's going to be cold and blustery. And I do think especially, and this is where we also have to watch that sleet line, for areas that don't get sleet, this is going to be a fluffy snow, and there's going to be blowing and drifting of it as we move into Monday. So here's what we can expect. Here's what I feel pretty confident in today. As of Saturday night after 10 o'clock, the snow will develop, and it will accumulate overnight pretty good. I think Sunday morning's the worst of it. So I know churches are wanting this information. Many already canceled or thinking about canceling. I really wouldn't recommend being out on Sunday morning. Okay, if you can do it virtually, please do. Otherwise, there's really, I think Sunday morning just looks really, really bad. Heavy snow, 2 inches per hour. Travel not recommended Sunday morning and greatly impacted. And again, with a storm like this, I know everybody wants numbers. Numbers are tough, and we will put them out later today, but you've got to think about impact, right? Am I going to need my snowblower? Yes. Am I going to be able to get anywhere Sunday? Probably not. Am I going to be digging out into Monday? Probably. So that's what we're talking about here. This isn't going to necessarily be a 3-inch snowstorm, right? We're talking about a highly impactful event. Then the rest of Sunday, cold and snowy, and that snow will continue through Sunday evening. The biggest question we have today is that sleet. It's going to mix. It's going to mix at some point, and we're pretty confident it's going to mix in our southern tier. The question is how soon and will that play with these totals? There are pretty good odds, though, for the region as a whole to see 8 inches or more of snow. And to give you a sense of how rare it is to get a foot of snow around here, in the last 10 winters, we haven't really had many. March 21st, 2018, March storm actually put down over a couple of days over a foot of snow, 14.2 inches. March 3rd, 6.8, 11.2 then in 2020. That was a storm that had a lot of sleet mixing. And that was a storm where the sleet came in earlier than anticipated. Still put down 11 inches, but it certainly didn't put down more than that. And I'm wondering if this storm has the same type of vibe to it. But in the last several years, it's been rare enough to get a 6-inch storm, let alone 12 inches. So this one has the potential, but I'm not ready to say for sure we're going to get a foot of snow out of this. The chances keep increasing, though. Let me go back here because I do want to point out, even if we get blowing and drifting of snow Monday, listen, I don't care if we get 6 inches, 8 inches, 12 inches, that snow is not going anywhere. Look at the temperatures. I mean, it's going to be Arctic here for the next week, maybe 2 weeks as we move from January into February. So today's high, mild and breezy at 43 degrees. Tonight, down to 22. And I see some people leaving the live feed here. Hang on, we're going to get to some model runs for you if you're interested in some of the nitty-gritty. So the Arctic air mass continues to move in Saturday morning, and that is going to set the stage for some very heavy snow here on Sunday, especially Sunday morning. So now I do want to go through and show you some of the models that are out there just to give you a sneak peek of how we forecast this and what it looks like. So let's go through the model that I think is really the most consistent, and that would be the European. This is the very latest run of the European, taking out here Saturday, Sunday now, and we'll take you all the way out through Monday as the storm moves into New England. And you can see a couple of things. This is snow at a 10-to-1 ratio, and it does give most of the region about 10 to 12 inches of snow. But the ratios are going to be higher than that, meaning again, if this plays out, you have to worry that we could get over a foot with these high ratios. But look at southern Lancaster County and look at how close that sleet line is here with that mix. And notice totals there, 8, 7, you start to see that sleet intrude, and all of a sudden the totals look a lot different. I also want to show you, I'm going to pull up the European ensembles because they do a pretty decent job of projecting this too. They have similar numbers. Okay, the average of the ensembles brings us around a foot of snow, okay? And it does keep that sleet line a little bit farther to the south. What about the American model? What about the GFS, the latest GFS run? Similar numbers, again, 10 to 12 inches of snow. Let's go to the GFS ensemble, okay? And again, similar numbers for that. I do want to point out, some folks early in the week were showing the Canadian dumping some snow on us. Let's pull up the Canadian. Guess what? The Canadian has less snow, because the Canadian really intrudes that sleet line, and it really brings it far to the north. So does the NAM model, and I want to show you that here. Now, this through 18Z on Sunday, which is Sunday afternoon, that's when it starts to bring that sleet line north. It gives us about 6 to 8 inches of snow, and then it changes over to sleet. So again, we aren't totally confident in snow amounts. I'm fairly confident we're going to get over 6 inches. I'm pretty confident we are likely to get over 8 inches. But beyond that, listen, if we don't have a lot of mixing, then we could be talking about over a foot, sure. And remember, these snow ratios that I showed you are 10 to 1. So even if the NAM verifies and the sleet comes in by Sunday afternoon, it spit out 6 to 8 inches of snow. You increase that by even 2 inches with the high ratios and with the cold air, then you're talking about 8 to 10 inches of snow. So again, it's going to be a good snow on the front end. It's just when does that sleet want to mix in? That's the question. And just for the fun of it, let's look at the long-range temperatures because I'm telling you, look at the morning lows. This is the model blend. It's got us in the single digits at night. It has us in the 20s during the day right through February 1st, and the European is even colder than that with sub-zero readings, which I could totally buy if we have a 6 to 12-inch snowpack out there. So it is going to snow, and it is going to stay cold, and we will have a map for you later today, my friends, coming out as we try to diagnose. We really need to diagnose this sleet issue on the backside of it. And, ultimately, is that going to matter when it comes to the forecast? Not really. Again, the forecast seems simple at this point. Heavy snow Saturday night and the first half of Sunday, several inches on the ground. It's just, can we get some of those bonanza totals, or are the totals going to be held more in that 6 to 12-inch range with the sleet? We'll diagnose it today. We'll keep you posted. And again, it is only Thursday morning. This is a Sunday morning snow. I know it's starting Saturday night, but we are still days away. There's going to be changes and nuances that come into play, and we're going to stay on top of it for you as we move right into that weekend. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Stay safe out there and enjoy the mild day. That was something I don't want to lose in the weekend forecast, but it's going to be in the 40s today. So get outside and enjoy it. Constant updates coming your way through the weekend. I'm meteorologist Brett Thackara. Have a great Thursday, everybody.